The meat allergy you get from a tick bite is medically known as alpha-gal syndrome, AGS. It is triggered primarily by the bite of the Lone Star tick, which is common in Texas. The tick transmits a sugar molecule called alpha-gal into your body, causing your immune system to develop an allergy to most mammals and their products. Symptoms often appear 2 to 6 hours after eating meat or dairy, making it much harder to recognize than a traditional, immediate food allergy. Symptoms: hives, itching, or a rash, severe stomach pain, nausea, diarrhea, or indigestion, swelling of the lips, throat, tongue, or eyelids, anaphylaxis, a life-threatening reaction that can cause breathing difficulties. Because alpha-gal is found in the bodies of most mammals, people with AGS typically need to avoid red meat, beef, pork, lamb, venison, dairy products, milk, cheese, butter, gelatin, often made from mammal byproducts, certain medications with mammalian ingredients. Note: poultry, chicken, turkey, and fish are usually safe, as they do not contain alpha-gal. If you suspect you have AGS, you should consult an allergist or healthcare provider. They can run a specific blood test for alpha-gal antibodies. While there is no cure, the allergy can lessen and sometimes disappear over time, provided you are not bitten again by alpha-gal carrying ticks. The only way to prevent AGS is to avoid tick bites. Use EPA-registered insect repellents like DEET or picaridin. Wear long sleeves and pants when in wooded or grassy areas. Check your body and clothes thoroughly after spending time outdoors. You can learn more about managing this condition from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention or read about local Texas cases on the University of Texas Southwestern Medical Center blog. Which organizations would benefit from a reduction of eating red meat? Numerous organizations across public health, environmental sustainability, economic policy, and animal welfare directly benefit from a societal reduction in red meat consumption. For these groups, a shift toward plant-forward diets directly advances their core institutional goals, reduces their operational strains, or fulfills their primary policy targets. Public health and healthcare providers, healthcare systems, and insurance providers, organizations like the National Health Service, NHS, or private health insurance corporations see lower operational costs. Red meat reduction directly translates to a decrease in expensive chronic conditions, such as colorectal cancer, type 2 diabetes, and coronary heart disease. Disease-specific advocacy groups, organizations such as the American Heart Association, AHA, and the American Cancer Society, ACS, benefit because dietary shifts align with their explicit health mandates. Lower red meat consumption directly aids their target metrics for reducing bowel cancer and cardiovascular mortality rates globally. Global health authorities, the World Health Organization, WHO, benefits by hitting its targeted non-communicable disease reduction goals. It relies on public adherence to its dietary guidelines to alleviate the global burden of preventable disease. Global policy and climate initiatives, the United Nations, UN agencies like the UN Food and Agriculture Organization, FAO, benefit heavily. Livestock farming accounts for roughly 80% of all agricultural greenhouse gas emissions. A global reduction helps the UN meet its broader Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, regarding climate, land use, and zero hunger. Climate Accord signatories, governments working to hit climate baselines established under the Paris Agreement benefit from lowered meat consumption. Reducing global demand for red meat dramatically cuts down on methane and nitrous oxide emissions, making national carbon neutral targets far easier to achieve. Environmental and conservation nonprofits. Land and water conservation agencies, groups like the Sierra Club and Green America directly benefit because livestock farming requires vast amounts of water and land. A drop in cattle farming alleviates pressures related to deforestation, habitat destruction, and biodiversity loss. Water protection coalitions, reducing red meat production benefits environmental agencies fighting agricultural runoff. Concentrated animal feeding operations, CAFOS, generate mass quantities of manure that often pollute local waterways. Smaller herds mean cleaner rivers and lakes. Educational institutions and public procurement. School districts and universities, public institutions operating under strict budgets benefit from incorporating more plant-based proteins. Legumes, grains, and seasonal vegetables generally cost significantly less per serving than red meat, allowing institutional cafeterias to stretch their food budgets further. Food movement nonprofits, dedicated advocacy groups like the Reducetarian Foundation and Meatless Monday benefit as their public education campaigns gain mainstream momentum. Increased public compliance validates their programmatic work, boosting their fundraising and structural influence.